Hello guys, today we're going to be working on this Samsung dryer. The complaint is that it's making a rattling or a scratching noise and the model number it's on the display. Welcome to DIY Repair Now. Read all the warnings, and during this video you will see one or more of these icons to help you do this repair safe. So we're going to go ahead and start by trying to find out what kind of noise it's doing to see if it's doing anything besides the customer sets. And as soon as we turn it on, we can hear like a rattling or tumbling sound. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it off. And we're gonna go ahead and disconnect it or turn it off or turn the breaker off for the dryer. In this case, we're gonna go ahead and turn it off at the breaker because the access to the back of the dryer, it's a little complicated. So we're gonna go ahead and look for the name and turn it off. Next thing we're gonna do is remove the two screws that holds the top of the dryer, the top panel of the dryer. Once you remove the two screws, just push back and this panel is gonna come right out. Be careful with sharp edges. Now you're gonna, with the two hands, trying to lift up the top part of this display panel. And once you get the top loose, you're gonna go ahead and hit it right there in the middle, and it's gonna come right out because it has 4 tabs that are holding the bottom in place. Take a picture before you remove any wiring to remember how it goes. This is the 2 tabs that I was telling you, and the other 2 on the other side as well. Those tabs always holds the bottom part in place. So basically you have to like kind of tap it or hit it on the middle to be able to take it out. Remove these 2 screws in the front of the front panel and put them on the side because those 2 screws are the only ones that are different than the rest of them because they are made out of a different material. Then remove the screws on the top of the panel, and always keep in mind that you might need a screwdriver or with your finger to push those tabs in to be able to remove the front panel out. Don't push it all the way out because you have to remove this switch. Go ahead and hold this part of the switch because otherwise sometimes this little clip flies away and there's nowhere to be found or it breaks the switch. So hold it with your left hand and remove the other part with your right hand, like so. Then remove this front panel out of the way, and now we're going to remove this top metal bracket to be able to have more access to the inside of the dryer. Remove all the screws that are all the way around. In this scenario, we have 1/4 screws and filler screws, but it's because they have worked on this dryer before. But if you're the first one on this repair, you might have only filler screws. Now we're going to remove the filler screws that are holding this drum panel, this drum front panel, and this bottom screws for the exhaust. The old Phillips screws as well. Now once you remove this panel, you go ahead and pull the wire out, and you're gonna find some clamps that are holding the wires, these wires in place. Keep in mind these wires have to go back the same way because they can be exposed to the heating or the drum. Once you do that, go ahead and lift this front panel up and remove it out of the way. Disconnect the humidity sensor as well. It is located on the bottom by the exhaust, and remove the wiring from those clamps. Those are plastic clamps. Just twist it to the right, and it will release the wiring. Go ahead and remove the wiring out of the way like so, and move this front panel, this drum panel, out of the way. We can see the first wheel that is all messed up. Look like it's been like this for a while. And now we're gonna go ahead and make sure we don't have any voltage. Go ahead and make sure you turn it off and go ahead and verify that there's no voltage, because sometimes people might change the position. And with this tester, I press the button, and if it would be powered, it would make a sound. Now remove the drum. Once you remove the drum, go ahead and put your hand on the side, like I'm going to show in this clip right here. This is from another repair, but it's basically the same procedure. Go ahead and remove the bell inside like so. Very simple. This is a slow motion part. Just do it like that with your finger until you remove it from the motor and then release the pulley. That's the way. Just play the video a couple times until you get it right. Now grab the bell, lift up, and with the same bell, remove the drum out of the way. Once you do that, you can see all the things that are being dropping inside of the dryer cabinet because of the wheels being broken. Look at those wheels. They all messed up. It was only one that it was kind of okay. And what happened over here is that it looks like these wheels are already being replaced. So in your case, you might have the OEM wheels or you might have the original wheels from manufacturing, and they might look different, but it's basically the same procedure. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove all these wheels, and we're gonna remove basically the wheels with the bearings. So I'm gonna go ahead and link these parts in the description of this video. That way you order everything right. Now these wheels are aftermarket, but they are poor material aftermarket, so they're not the good ones. Some of the aftermarket are good, but some of them are not, and this is the case. Now this is the way I remove those bearings. I just use vice grips and to twist counterclockwise and until I get it loose. You might have to put your hand inside on the other side, on the other side of this bearing to hold the knot that is on the other side, because it might twist at the same time you're twisting the front. Okay, but in this case I was able to do it this way, and you see the knot and the washer just drop in the back. Now once you get these bearings, you're ready to put the new wheels. Like I said before, the link it would be in the description of this video. And this is what I was talking about, guys. These bearing wheels are kind of expensive for manufacturing. The OEM ones are kind of pricey. So, but there are some good aftermarkets that works pretty good. And some of the aftermarket works even better than the OEM for some reason. I don't know why, but this is the good ones. I've been using this for years, and this is the kit that includes everything, and I believe it even brings the bell. Now the bell, you need to verify if it's the right one or not. In this case, this bell that I have in this dryer is still good, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave the OEM one. I'm not gonna mess with the bell. Now over here, I'm trying to look for the size of this nut, and I found out that it was the size 14. So we're gonna go ahead and use the 14 ratchet, but later on in this video you will see that the ratchet does not fit in the space. So next time, go ahead and get a 14 wrench, or just use your crazy wrench, the adjustable crazy wrench. Now most of the time I use the crazy wrench, but in this video I'm gonna go ahead and try to do it with this ratchet, or I'm gonna go ahead and put this ratchet on my vice grips and try to do it this way. But again, if you have two small crazy wrenches or a 14 crazy wrench, it would be better, because when you do this, it's too big to be able to put it in the back of the back panel. So this is just to show you guys all the different ways to do this repair, and you use the most convenient for you. Now you can see it does fit, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to do it this way, and you can see it works that way. It did not work with the ratchet because it gets too big and it doesn't fit in the back. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the washer. As you see, the washer is in place. And now I'm gonna go ahead and get the 14mm knot in the back and start it with my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the back, and where it goes, which is the screw or bearing, which is the same thing, and twist it clockwise. Once you get the knot in place, it start getting tension on it. That means it's getting tight. And as you see, you can use the two crazy wrench which is more ideal. This is what I've been doing all along, but since I already got this vice grips with the ratchet, I'm gonna go ahead and do it this way, just trying new things. Again, after this video, I have done another repair and I bought my 14 millimeter wrench. Okay, yes, go ahead and tighten it. Go ahead and tighten it really good because this is vibration all the time, and it might get loose. Go ahead and tighten it really good. Try not to, put too much torque on it because you can strip it, but you get what I'm saying when you say tighten it really good. Just put like 30 pounds when you tighten it. Just, calculate it. Now, once you get the first one, we're gonna go ahead and start working on the second one. And we're gonna do the same procedure. We're gonna use the washers because the new kit didn't bring a new washer, so we're reusing the nut and the old washers. Same procedure, put one on the bearing and the other one in the other side. Okay, before you put the nut. Those washers are very important. If you only put the nut and the bearing, that wheel will get loose eventually. So once you get it started with your fingers, with your hand in the back, you go ahead and start twisting like so, until it start getting tension, and then you do the same thing. Now, this video, it is kind of long, but I just want to leave every detail to show you all the complications that you might run into it, or you can use the proper tools to make your life easier once you do this type of repair on this dryer. Now, these wheels going bad on this dryer is a very common situation when the dryer is above 2 or 3 years old. Now, in this scenario, I find out that the back bracket was kind of loose, so I ended up adjusting it. I didn't got that on the video, but those are the things that can get these wheels to go bad. Overheating situation, which is a dryer vent problem, and the dryer overheats, can get the wheels to go bad as well because there's too much heat inside the dryer. So try to do a dryer vent cleaning once a year. In fact, that is a fire hazard, and the city always recommend to do once a year preventive maintenance dryer vent cleaning. And I'm removing this other wheel that goes on the drum panel. Now, this is, you can see what I'm basically doing in the back of the other two that I already have installed, because we have more access in this scenario. Same situation, same procedure, all the wheels goes the same way. The only thing is that this panel, we have it in outside, and we can see what we basically doing in the back, and it's easier because you can, in this scenario, you can use the ratchet. As you can see, got more flexibility, more space to work, and it's very easy. Now, to do this other wheel, we're gonna go ahead and have to remove the exhaust, which is the only wheel that looks okay. But since we are replacing all three, we're gonna replace the fourth one, and that way we have all four brand new. The link that I'm gonna put in the description of this video brings all four wheels, like I said before, as a kit, and you can go ahead and use this kit because otherwise I believe Samsung sell it one individual, and it will be more expensive. Just make sure you use this kind because the ones I'm removing are the most cheapest one, but the material is horrible. As you can see, just by the look of this one, just don't order those. Now we're working on the fourth wheel, and we can see exactly what we're doing in the back. And this is the way you can have an idea what's happened behind the other two that we did on the beginning, as I said before. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Use the ratchet and the crazy wrench on the front, and just go clockwise to time it. Just hold the crazy wrench the other side and just do it as you see on this video. Once you do that, go ahead and put the exhaust back in place. This is part of the conduit that throws the hot air out, and it goes along with the blower that you see behind this panel. Just put the two screws that holds this exhaust panel, and right now we already finished installing all four wheels, and we're gonna go ahead and do some cleaning. Once we while we have it apart, it's good to do a preventative maintenance, because all this land can catch on fire and easy can get this dryer in fire, and it will be fire all over the house, and you don't want that to happen. Now, as you can see, I'm pushing every little lint that it's on this screen as well, and I'm basically doing a full cleaning inside of this dryer, the other parts as well, inside of the heat element. And over here I'm gonna go ahead and remove this screw that holds this heat element in place. And as you can see, we got more burned out lint. This lint means that there was a little bit of fire there and it burned that lint up, but the fire doesn't spread because there's no oxygen inside the dryer. But you know, if one of those flames are on when you open the dryer, it can create a big fire, and we don't want that to happen. So just go ahead and clean your dryer once a year. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the drum back in place, clean the blower wheel once we're doing all the maintenance, clean everything up really good, like so. And once you finish doing that, go ahead and install the belt back in place. I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you how this belt works. This is the back of the belt, which is solid. There's no texture there, there's no lines, there's no rubber there. It's just a flat. This is the back of the belt. This is the best way that I can explain how the belt goes in this bearings and this bearing wheel. This part, the back part goes in the white wheel, and the other part, which is the bottom part of the belt, where you can see some lines and some texture. You'll be able to touch it with your fingers right there. That part goes in the motor. So you have to do this, and it's hard for you to see what you're doing, so I'm trying to explain it to you in this video. Those little lines goes on the motor, and the flat part goes on the wheel, the white wheel that you see right there. You can see exactly what I'm doing in that footage right there. And then once you got it on, you can see I got a little belt stuck in there, but I already pulled it out. Now we're gonna go ahead and put this front drum panel, and you can see that the two bottom wheels goes in that slack right there on the drum. So this is what you do. You get it in place, and you put the two wheels in the bottom of the drum like so, and you'll be able to feel in your hand when you holding the drum panel that they fold in place. So once you got it in place, go ahead and put the panel in the hoop. And this is the humidity sensor. Go ahead and plug the humidity sensor. This is one of the most things that can be forget once you do this repair. Go ahead and plug the sensor. This bottom screw for the exhaust as well. Those are things that are very common for you to forget. And Now go ahead and install all the rest of the screws for this drum front panel. Okay, once you do that, just give it a spin. Once you do the spin, if the belt doesn't come loose, that means you did a good installation of the belt inside. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the wiring the way it's supposed to go, and you'll be able to see that it's supposed to go in this kind of secure clamps. You do a twist and it secures the wiring in place. Now this is very important that the wires goes on these clamps, because if the wire is on top of the drum, it's gonna cut the wire through, it's gonna create a shortage and the dryer is gonna stop. Or if these wires are exposed to too much heat, it's gonna be an issue. So go ahead and put those wires where they're supposed to go. I'm gonna go ahead and show you a picture that shows you how it's supposed to look once you finish. In this picture, I show you that that piece have to go in that slack right there. If it doesn't go there, you might have a problem installing this top metal bracket on the dryer. Now that's the wiring, and in this other footage, I'm gonna show you how it looks when all the wiring it's where it's supposed to go. As you see right there, all the wiring are in place, it's secure, and this, the one is hanging, is the one for the switch. So we're gonna get to that in a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and start installing this top bracket, and it's supposed to fall in place. It's like a male to female connection, there's no way to be wrong. And go ahead and start installing all the screws that holds the top bracket. The same way you're removing, go ahead and always take picture, guys, when you removing the top bracket or wiring or anything that you do. If you can record most of the things, have somebody record for you, you can track back, or just follow this video if you have the same exact model. And like I said, I'm using 1/4 screws because it's only somebody already worked on it. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the same procedure in how to, the same way that we remove this switch, we're gonna go ahead and put it back on in a little bit. But before, we're gonna go ahead and fit this light wire and the wiring that goes for the display board through this hole, which that's where it's supposed to be. Okay, just make sure the wiring is still in place and then secured by those clamps. And like I said before, with the left hand, hold the switch, and with the right hand, install the harness for the door switch. Now go ahead and put the panel where it goes, and it starts installing all the Phillips screws, which again, in this scenario, I got 1/4 screws because somebody already had replacing, but in your scenario, you might have only Phillips screws. That's why you see me switching between 1/4 and Phillips screws, because somebody already have replaced them. So see, trying to make sure I can put Phillips screws where the 1/4 will not work. So at this point, we're pretty much done. So we're gonna go ahead and install the filter. That's the lint filter. Go ahead and install the 2 screws that goes in this area, and always remember to clean that lint filter every load. That will make you save some money and driving cleaning before you reach the year. Now we're gonna go ahead and install this screw right here. That's for the support for the board. That's the main computer board right there. And keep in mind, guys, that if you don't do a driving cleaning once a year, it can create a fire and it can burn more electricity, just so you know. Now at this point, try to put this panel the best way you can to be able to install this harness. One is for the lighting and the other one is for the display board. Now go ahead and put those tabs where they're supposed to go, and just go ahead and turn on the breaker to start testing. Just, trying to hit this port around. If it doesn't fit in place, it's not supposed to come out loose. And as you can see, now is no weird noises. That's the regular noise that always does, but it's no bumping, no rattling, no weird noises. Okay, at this point we're gonna go ahead and put the top panel, and this panel also got his way. You have to push it back a little and then push it forward because it has some slacks, and the front and also the back, you'll be able to see it once you remove it. So those slacks have to fit in the housing to be able to push it to the front and sit it in place. Now this panel is all bent and stuff, so it was hard for me to put this panel back in place, but I was able to manage because for some reason they got this front load style washer and dryer, but they got them in some kind of a platform. Alright guys, if this video helped you in any way, you can show us appreciation by giving us a tip using the following options that you see on the screen. If you cannot provide with a tip, is another way to support this channel by just dropping off a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the bell to receive notifications. Thanks for watching. Alright, everything is working perfect. It's heating. And that's it for this video, guys.